All right, so we're back, and this week we're going on a deep dive into a stack of Southern California newspapers
Yeah.
from February 26, 2025.
Yeah.
These are your local Observer Group papers,
Right.
the ones that give you a feel for what's happening right there in your community,
Mm-hmm.
on the ground. We've got
Mm.
music legends, stories of courage, even a little basketball rivalry.
Sounds like a good mix.
It is. It is. So first up, some sad news that really hit the music world hard.
Oh.
We lost three giants of soul and R&B within just days of each other. Roberta Flack, Gwen McCrae, and Jerry Butler.
Wow, all at once.
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable. I mean,
Yeah.
think about Roberta Flack's Killing Me Softly.
Yeah.
I mean, that song probably brings back a certain memory for you, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Music just has that power, doesn't it?
It really does.
To transport us back
Uh-huh.
to a certain time and place.
Mhm.
And these artists, they broke barriers, especially for Black musicians.
Right.
They helped shape the sound of soul and R&B for decades.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Roberta Flack's journey is, incredible. From playing piano in church as a kid
Wow.
to topping the Billboard charts, winning multiple Grammys, even performing for Nelson Mandela.
Wow.
I mean, she reached the pinnacle of success.
You really did.
And on top of all that, she founded the Roberta Flack School of Music to provide free music education
Oh, wow.
to underserved youth. I mean, that's a legacy that goes beyond hit songs,
Yeah, absolutely.
about empowering the next generation
Mhm.
through music. And then there's Gwen McCrae,
Oh, yeah, the Queen of Funk.
a great and funky sensation. That song still gets everybody on the dance floor.
For sure.
Her energy on stage, electrifying,
Mm.
and her music had a huge impact on disco and soul. But her story also reminds us that even with all that success,
Yeah,
Black artists, they often faced a tougher road.
definitely not easy.
Gwen was very vocal about advocating for fairer treatment in the music industry,
Right.
an issue that unfortunately is still around today.
Yeah, you're right.
Makes you think about all the struggles behind the scenes,
Mhm.
even for those who seem to have it all. And of course, we can't forget Jerry Butler,
Oh, of course not.
the Iceman with those smooth vocals,
Oh, yeah.
a staple of the 1960s soul scene.
Yeah,
Sad to lose these icons, but their music lives on,
definitely.
inspiring us, moving us. Their legacies are woven into the fabric of music history.
Absolutely.
But let's turn the page now to a story about courage and perseverance.
Okay.
The history of Black firefighters, right here in Southern California.
Interesting.
These local papers unearthed some incredible stories going all the way back to 1892.
Wow, that's going way back.
Yeah, with a guy named Sam Haskins.
Okay.
He was California's first documented Black firefighter, serving as what they called a call fireman.
Call firemen.
Yeah, basically, he'd fill in when they needed him. Sadly, he died in the line of duty.
Oh, that's awful.
But his sacrifice, it wasn't forgotten. The community rallied around and formed an all-black engine company.
Wow, that's powerful.
In his honor,
Yeah.
talk about symbolism.
Yeah.
It shows how much respect he had earned, even facing,
The adversity.
exactly. Then fast forward to the 1940s.
Okay.
We meet Arnett Hartsfield,
All right.
another trailblazer who joined the LAFD.
Uh-huh.
Now imagine being Hartsfield. You join the LAFD full of hope, and you run into roadblocks at every turn,
Oh, I bet.
just because of the color of your skin.
Yeah.
Despite his qualifications, he was denied promotions,
Really?
forced to work in segregated firehouses.
Wow.
Systemic racism, it's a tough reminder of how things were.
It is.
But Hartsfield, he wasn't one to stay silent.
Good for him.
He co-founded the Stentorians, an organization for Black firefighters,
Okay.
to fight for integration and equal rights.
Within the department.
Within the LAFD, yeah.
Yep.
They actually used legal precedents, like Brown v. Board of Education,
Oh, wow.
to challenge the discriminatory practices.
That's smart.
The Stentorians, they were instrumental in pushing for change, paving the way for more Black firefighters to join.
And rise through the ranks.
Exactly. And Hartsfield's impact, it went beyond firefighting. He became an attorney, a professor, even a historian
Wow.
for the African American Firefighter Museum. Talk about a commitment to education and preserving history.
Yeah, he really made a difference.
His story is so inspiring. In fact, he inspired retired Captain Brett Burton,
Oh, really?
who met him as a teenager. Captain Burton was deeply moved by his stories, by the historical photos he shared,
Mm-hmm.
and he went on to have a successful career in the LAFD himself.
That's great.
But sadly, even decades after Hartsfield's time, he still encountered
prejudice.
Yeah, prejudice. Progress, it doesn't happen overnight, right?
Unfortunately not.
Captain Burton shared stories about hearing colleagues make just blatantly racist comments,
Wow.
revealing that those biases, they were still there, you know.
Uh-huh.
It's tough, but it's a reminder that the fight for equality isn't over.
Yeah.
But there's good news, too. The Stentorians, they're still going strong.
Oh, that's good to hear.
Now, led by Captain Robert Hawkins,
Okay.
they're still advocating for equal opportunities, challenging discrimination in the LAFD.
Good.
It's not just talk. We've seen progress. Individuals like Milage Peaks and Brian Cummings
Yeah.
becoming the first African-American fire chiefs in the LAFD's history.
It's great to see that.
But it's a mixed picture. You know, we've got
Right.
these amazing milestones.
Right.
But those systemic issues are still there. They still need to be addressed.
Yeah, for sure.
But Captain Hawkins, he's optimistic, you know,
Yeah.
dedicated to serving his community, inspiring young people, and believing in a more equitable future
Inspiring.
for Black firefighters. Now, ready for some basketball.
Always.
Because these Southern California papers, they were buzzing about the UCLA and USC women's teams.
Oh, yeah.
We're talking about a golden generation of women's college basketball.
Yeah.
Even with stars like Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese moving on to the WNBA,
Yeah.
the talent is incredible. UCLA, they're ranked second in the nation right now
You're kidding?
with a 26-1 record.
Wow.
They've got this balanced offense, multiple players averaging over 7.5 points per game.
It's hard to stop a team like that.
It really is so difficult to defend because you can't just focus on shutting down one star player.
Right.
And speaking of star players, UCLA's got a force in junior center. Lauren Betts,
Oh, yeah.
a double-double machine, and a defensive powerhouse.
Nice.
And then there's junior guard Kiki Rice.
Uh-huh.
Her playmaking ability, her scoring, it adds another dimension to their offense.
I bet.
They were the top-ranked team in the country for 12 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, no small feat.
No, not at all.
And even when they face tough competition, they've shown this incredible resilience,
Mm-hmm.
pulling off some nail-biting comeback victory.
That was the best.
But here's where the rivalry kicks in.
Yeah, okay.
UCLA's only loss this season came at the hands of their crosstown rivals, USC,
Oh, how about that?
ranked 4th in the nation right now, with a 25-2 record.
So they're both contenders.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
These games, they're electric. You know,
That's
it's
right.
not just about winning. It's about bragging rights.
Well, you're right.
It's about city pride. And that USC win,
And that's been something else.
oh, unforgettable.
Yeah.
Thanks to, a phenomenal performance by sophomore guard Juju Watkins.
I've heard of her.
She scored 38 points, grabbed 11 rebounds, dished out 5 assists, and blocked 8 shots.
38 points.
38 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, 8 blocks. Are you kidding me?
Wow.
That's not just a game. It's a statement.
It is.
Watkins, she's already being called a generational talent, you know?
I can see why.
And that game solidified her superstar status.
Mm,
But the thing that's even more impressive
yeah.
is her humility.
Oh, how so?
After that performance, she credited her teammates
Really?
for the win. She's not a one-woman show.
Good for her.
She understands the power of teamwork.
Yeah, she gets it.
And let's not forget Kiki Iriafen.
Oh, right.
The transfer forward from Stanford, she's been key to USC's success as well.
Uh-huh.
Watkins and Iriafen.
Quite the duo.
Leading the charge, USC is riding a 6-game winning streak right now,
Wow.
including 4 wins against top 25 teams.
That's impressive.
That rematch against UCLA,
Oh, yeah.
it's going to be epic.
I bet.
Both teams are playing at such a high level.
Mhm.
The stakes are high, not just for the conference, but for,
The national champion.
the national championship. Coach Lindsay Gottlieb said it best.
What did she say?
She said, just a few years ago, people said women's basketball in LA can't be big, can't be covered,
Right.
can't be sold out. And we, you guys, us together, all keep proving that wrong.
I love that.
It's so inspiring to see these teams defy expectations.
Yeah.
They're reaching new heights, proving that LA is a basketball powerhouse
It really is.
and that women's basketball deserves all the hype.
Absolutely.
But from the excitement of the court, let's shift gears to a heartwarming story about community support
Yeah.
and entrepreneurship.
I like it.
We're talking about the Level Up store
What's that?
in Inglewood, a
Yep.
fashion haven offering unique styles.
Sounds cool.
This story highlights the challenges that so many small business owners face,
Yeah.
especially those from underrepresented communities.
Huh.
When it comes to accessing capital,
Well.
Ron Gimson, the entrepreneur behind the Level Up store, he had his savings, a credit card.
Mm-hmm.
But the banks, they kept rejecting his loan applications.
Oh, no.
Imagine trying to build your dream, only to get shut down at every turn.
I can't imagine.
It's tough.
Mm-hmm.
But then a chance encounter changed everything.
Really?
Picture this. He's sitting on the curb outside his store, feeling defeated,
Oh, no.
when Congresswoman Maxine Waters happens to be driving by.
What?
She sees him and stops to chat. Amazing how a simple conversation can change a life, isn't it?
It really is.
It really speaks volumes about Congresswoman Waters' commitment to her community.
Absolutely.
She took the time to listen to Gibson's struggles,
Yeah.
and she connected him with Macedonia CDC,
Okay.
a nonprofit that helps small businesses access capital and navigate the financial world.
That's awesome.
And with their guidance, Gibson was finally able to secure a loan from Mission Valley Bank.
Wow, that's great.
It's a testament to the power of collaboration and community support.
It-
Organizations like Macedonia CDC and individuals like Congresswoman Waters,
Yeah.
they play such a crucial role
Yeah.
in leveling the playing field,
For sure.
giving entrepreneurs like Gibson a fighting chance.
Absolutely.
Now, speaking of leveling the playing field, let's talk about a story with statewide implications.
Okay.
The California Legislative Black Caucus's 2025 legislative priorities.
All right.
They call it the Road to Repair 2025.
Right.
This package, it builds on the work of the California Reparation Task Force,
Right.
the task force that documented the lasting harm caused by slavery and systemic discrimination.
Against Black Californians.
Right. It's about moving beyond apologies
Mm-hmm.
and taking concrete steps toward reparations,
Yeah.
recognizing that the legacy of those injustices, it still impacts Black communities today.
It does.
The package focuses on reducing disparities in key areas like health, wealth, housing, and education.
That's a good start.
So to give you an idea of the scope, there's AB 7.
Okay.
This one aims to prioritize higher education admissions for descendants of American chattel slavery.
Interesting.
Imagine trying to buy a house today when your grandparents were denied that opportunity
Oh, wow.
because of racist policies. That's the legacy this legislation is trying to address.
Mm-hmm.
Then there's AB 57, seeking to allocate home purchase assistance funds to eligible Black Californians,
Right.
recognizing those historical barriers to home ownership
Uh-huh.
that have led to the racial wealth gap we see today.
Yeah.
We've got SB 518, which proposes establishing the Bureau of Descendants of American Slavery.
Okay.
That would help with genealogy research, property reclamation assistance, education and outreach, and even legal support.
This sounds comprehensive.
It's about helping Black Californians trace their lineage, reclaim lost property, and navigate the legal system.
Mm.
SB 503 focuses on regulating AI in healthcare
Oh, interesting.
to try to mitigate racial biases.
That's important.
Yeah, because technology has the potential to, perpetuate inequalities.
If it's not designed carefully.
Right. And finally, SB 510 calls for a comprehensive K-12 curriculum on racial disparities,
Okay.
including slavery and segregation, so future generations understand the full picture of American history.
I like that.
The California Legislative Black Caucus,
Yeah.
they're determined to turn the promise of equality into a reality,
It's good to see that.
especially in light of what they see as, regressive policies at the national level.
Interesting.
They're pushing for real change, tangible action.
Mm-hmm.
This legislation, it's a significant step towards addressing those historical wrongs
Yeah,
and creating a more just society for Black Californians.
absolutely.
It's a recognition that the impact of slavery and discrimination, it's still felt today.
It is.
Systemic solutions are needed,
For sure.
but there are differing viewpoints on how to address these issues.
Mm. Right.
Darlene Crumity from the Coalition for a Just and Equitable California,
Okay.
she feels the bill package could be even bolder.
Real.
She worries about potential amendments weakening its impact.
That's a concern.
It reminds us that progress can be messy
Yeah.
and complex.
Yeah.
There will always be debate about the best path forward.
There will.
But that's the beauty of democracy, right?
It is.
Having those tough conversations,
Mhm.
working towards solutions that are truly equitable and just.
Exactly. It's a reminder that the fight for racial justice, it's an ongoing process.
Absolutely.
It requires vigilance, advocacy,
Mm.
and a willingness to engage in that constructive dialogue.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
But there you go.
Yeah, it really shows you how many different viewpoints there are,
Mhm.
even within the Black community itself, on how to approach this.
Yeah,
It's clearly a complex issue.
for sure. No easy answers.
Not at all. So we've covered a lot today, from those music legends passing away to those inspiring stories of Black firefighters,
Mm-hmm.
those amazing women's basketball teams,
Mm-hmm.
and that, heartwarming story of Ron Gibson and the Level Up store.
Oh, yeah. What a great example of community support.
It is. It's amazing how these local stories pulled from these Southern California newspapers,
Yeah.
they give us this snapshot of life here.
They really do. Capturing the pulse of Southern California,
They do.
the struggles, the triumphs, the diversity.
It's all there. But why should our listeners care about these, seemingly local stories?
That's a good question. Well, I think even though they're hyperlocal, they connect to bigger themes
Right.
like racial justice, economic inequality, the role of technology, the power of community.
Right, stuff that matters everywhere.
Exactly. It's like zooming in on a specific neighborhood
Yeah.
and realizing those stories are reflecting these broader trends.
Makes sense.
So by understanding what's happening in our own communities,
Yeah.
we get a better grasp of the world at large,
It's all connected. And it's not always, serious stuff either.
Right?
These papers are full of stories that are just entertaining,
Oh, for sure.
heartwarming, sometimes even funny.
Yeah, that's life.
It is. They remind us of the richness of human experience,
Mm-hmm.
the drama that's happening every day right in front of us.
Absolutely.
So as we wrap up this deep dive, we want to leave you with a few questions.
Okay, shoot.
What story resonated with you?
Mm-hmm.
What sparked your curiosity?
Good questions.
What made you think differently about your own community
Yeah.
or the world around you? Maybe you're interested in learning more about Roberta Flack's music
Right.
or the history of Black firefighters in your own region.
Uh-huh.
Or maybe the story of the Level Up store inspired you to support,
Local businesses.
local businesses, exactly, or to get involved in community development,
Yeah. That's the point, right?
It is. These stories can be a springboard
Yeah.
for learning more, for taking action, and remember, staying informed about local news is crucial,
Absolutely.
not just for knowing what's happening around you, but for understanding how it connects to the bigger picture.
It's about being an informed citizen,
Exactly.
equipped to make a difference.
Locally and globally. So thank you for joining us
Yeah, thanks for listening.
on this journey through the pages of Southern California newspapers.
Hope you enjoyed it.
We hope you've gained some insights,
Learned something new.
discovered some amazing stories,
Yeah.
and maybe even been inspired to dig a little deeper.
Into the things that matter to you.
We'll be back soon with another deep dive
right.
into a new topic.
Yeah.
Until then,
Stay curious
stay informed.
and keep exploring.
It's funny, isn't it, how these local stories from Southern California,
Yeah.
they can get us thinking about things that are, relevant to everyone,
Oh, yeah,
no
absolutely.
matter where you live.
I think it reminds us that even with all the ways we're connected today,
Uh-huh.
with news flying around the world instantly,
Right.
there's still something special about these local narratives,
Totally.
They give you that glimpse into a community, into its heart, the struggles, the triumphs, the things that make it unique.
And they often, reflect those larger societal trends.
Exactly.
Like that story about the Black firefighters, their fight for equality in the LAFD.
Right.
It's like a mirror to the bigger fight for racial justice,
Happening all over the country, even globally. You're right.
And it shows us that progress, it's not always a straight line.
No, it's not.
You have those victories, like the first Black fire chiefs in LAFD history,
Right.
but then there's still so much work to do.
To address those systemic problems.
Exactly, to make sure everyone has a fair shot.
Yeah, it's a constant process.
And that theme, progress and setbacks, it seems to come up in a lot of these stories.
It does.
The fight for reparations, the
Mhm.
challenges for small businesses, even women's basketball.
Mhm.
There's this constant push and pull,
Between reaching milestones
Yeah.
and facing the reality of what still needs to change.
Yeah. And I think that keeps us thinking, keeps us engaged.
It does.
Hopefully it inspires us to be part of the solution.
I think so too. So as we wrap up this deep dive,
Yeah.
we encourage you to think about these stories not as just isolated things,
Right.
but as part of a bigger picture.
A collective experience.
Exactly. So what resonates with you
What questions do these stories raise for you?
about your own community or the world in general?
Maybe you're inspired to learn more about racial inequality where you live.
Or how technology is affecting healthcare access in your area?
Or maybe you want to support a local entrepreneur,
Advocate for policies that create more opportunities.
Yeah, exactly. The point is, these local narratives,
Yeah.
they might seem confined to one place,
Yeah,
but they have this power to spark those bigger conversations,
right?
challenge our assumptions, and inspire us to take action.
Absolutely. Keep exploring those local stories,
Stay curious.
Keep asking those tough questions.
Keep engaging with the world,
That's how we learn, how we grow.
how we make a difference.
Couldn't agree more. Thanks for joining us on the deep dive.
We'll be back soon with another exploration of, fascinating topics.
From all walks of life.
Until then, stay curious.